Hello, football fans. Well, it's time to discuss a division that's been very captivating for the last 10 years, the AFC North. Very wild division, a black and blue division, if you will. A division full of grit and full of good drama, and, well, that's just the Steelers. Um, but yeah, the AFC North has been quite interesting ever since it was officially formed back in 2002. And the 2025 season, the upcoming 2025 season, I don't think it'll be any different. So here's a preview of the AFC North heading into the 2025 NFL season. One thing that I, as a Packer fan, have noticed is that both North divisions are pretty much the same. Okay, but each North has that hollowed team. Of course, the AFC is the Steelers. For NFC, it's the Packers, and they got a purple rival, Ravens, Vikings. They have a very cursed cat team, Lions and Bengals. And then you have the Bears and the Browns, who serve as the butt monkey, the comic relief, the punching bag for their respective North Division. When it comes to the Browns, though, they're so fucked up they make the Bears look respectable. That team is just a mess. An eight game regression from 23, a 23 that actually saw them make the playoffs. They won 11 games and made the playoffs, but last year, 3 wins, tied for worst record in the league, had a chance at the number 1 pick, didn't quite get it. But and even worse, the quarterback they drafted, Shadur Sanders, Dion's kid, he might be starting because Deshaun Weinstein will most likely be benched while still making a mint from the team. Stuff like this is why Cleveland is just not allowed to have nice things in sports. And September in Cleveland basically means one more month to the Cavaliers start. Well, Bengals, you really need to do something about that Trey Henderson thing and just pay him. You need all the defense you can get because that defense couldn't even stop me. I mean, I have never seen a team score at least 30 points in a lot of games, yet not win them. And I speak as a Packers fan who had to watch bad defenses let Aaron Rodgers down repeatedly. Okay, but but even through all that, they had a chance. They could have gotten away with it if it weren't for those meddling New England Patriots. Yeah, losing at home in Week 1 to the Patriots, to a Patriots team who only went on to win 4 games, that ended up being the difference. And that ended up being the thing that actually went on to end Cincy's season. Crazy, isn't it? But that's football. Every game matters, especially this short season. But they still have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase tearing it up. I mean, they certainly made fantasy football owners who had them happy. In the case of yours truly, I never had Burrow, but I had Chase in one league. Whew. But yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised they make the playoffs this year, especially if they finally get that Hendrickson deal done. They should make it. Like I said, they still have Burrow, they still have Chase, they still have Higgins, and if the defense gets just a hair better, they should just get in. They just need to not lose those games that are winnable. Plain and simple. The Steelers. The Steelers have always fascinated me. Even dating back to when they had Cordell Stewart and Jerome Bettis, and back when Cowher was coaching them in the 90s, entering the 21st century, that team always fascinated me. I've heard so many stories about the Steelers, especially how they dominated in the 70s. Of course, the story also includes the fact that for the first 6 decades of their existence, they were one of the worst teams in the league. Yet in the 70s, when they ended up with guys like Lynn Swann and Terry Bradshaw, and of course the late great Franco Harris, they just tore it up. Won 4 Super Bowls in a 6-year span. Went on to become the first team to win 6 Super Bowls. It's just an amazingly epic team that finds ways to get there, and they're still finding ways to get there. And now they got Rodgers. Isn't that something? I'm glad that he didn't take that far route and go to Minnesota, though it kind of annoys me that he actually wanted to go to the Vikings so badly. Ugh. But they got Rodgers, who's aging badly, but they got him, and they signed T.J. Watt and paid him, which is good. They're gonna need him, but I do enter this season a little bit worried about Mike Tomlin. Common sense tells me I shouldn't be, but a long history of how black coaches get mistreated and fired for much less tells me I should be. Um, Mike Tomlin is currently the best coach in the league right now. 8 seasons, no losing records. Been to 2 Super Bowls, won one, and the last few years under him, the Steelers have found ways to get in the playoffs when they really should have been done by around close to Christmas time. They still managed to get in. They got in last year. Tomlin finds a way, yet certain fans actually want the man fired for no other reason other than he has my pigmentation. That has to be it, because it can't be because he's a bad coach. Like I said, he's the best current coach in the league. He's the only one that put over Andy Reid. But I know this much: it's going to be interesting for the Steelers. But I know as much: if the Steelers somehow make it to the big dance, find a way again, Michael Petaway Tomlin should be owed a number of apologies. They want this guy. They want this guy fired, even though he's never had a losing season and has a Super Bowl. If Tomlin was white, those same people want a statue of him. Plain and simple. And we go from gets picked on because of racism to a quarterback that gets picked on because of racism, Lamar Jackson. What can I say about Lamar except he's done it? He's done so much with nothing around him. I know that feeling as a Packers fan, having to watch Rodgers carry the Packers for so many years, and Lamar just finds ways to do it. He's gonna have a tougher climb now because one of the only 2 players he can depend on is not with the team anymore because he couldn't keep his hands to himself. That's right, they don't have Tucker anymore. So now it's basically the Lamar and Henry show. They do have DeAndre Hopkins, but it's going to be interesting. But Lamar will find a way. He'll find a way because he always does. He always does. And I kind of think the Chiefs are going to go down a few pegs at that Super Bowl loss. Maybe we see Lamar Jackson in Super Bowl 60 this year. They have a good chance. They have a good chance. The Ravens find ways to get there and win divisions, even when it's just Lamar and Derrick Henry doing pretty much all the heavy lifting. They can do this again. Lamar, he's an amazing quarterback. An argument can be made that he's the best current quarterback in the league right now. But we should see what happens with the Ravens during the 2025 season. And that is my preview of the AFC North heading into this 2025 season. We are less than 5 weeks away from opening day, and it's going to be amazing as hell for sure. So, if you like this video, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe more. If you're on TikTok and Instagram, feel free to hit that follow button. And the link above is my story on Vocal about the AFC North. Check it out when you can. And next division I will cover is the AFC South. So stay tuned for that.